And welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is another patron roster review. This is Colonel Sandurz from the Alliance Omnicron. What's happening? Another Alliance team. That's so awesome. There's so many of them. Now, he doesn't really care about ships. He's already said that. And he only really cares about Arena and then the Heroic AAT. He just wanted a quick layout of the Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 teams that he thinks I should get him to do. He's got almost every character for every team already. I'm just going to kind of line him up. And then Arena, he wanted some alternate teams. And then some characters he thought that maybe on the side he should farm. And so actually what we're going to do is go into the two side characters I think you should farm first. So the two characters I think that you should farm first on the side comes right out of the middle right here. Both the B2 Super Battle Droid and the Death Trooper. Both of them have much usability for the current and future metas that can be plugged into any team. Death Trooper has multiple usabilities. He's kind of like a B2 a little bit, and he's kind of like a Darth Nihilus a little bit. He's got dual functionality. He's going to work great. B2 is just a phenomenal character, and neither one of them are geared and starred very high. Both of them are easily free-to-play accessible and relatively decent to just average to gear. So those two characters right out of the middle, I would definitely do as side projects. So those are the only side projects that I have. As far as Arena teams go, you have a lot of options. First off, the team you're using, the Jedi team you have, is amazing. This is a great team. You should be able to, with the right mods, climb up to the #1 spot every single day. And yes, you're going to drop a little because right now there is no defensible team. Every team's going to drop a little. But your goal on this is to make R2-D2 as fast as humanly possible. He goes first. He targets General Kenobi, and then everybody's got to hit him. Jedi Knight Anakin goes crazy. He does a lot of extra damage. You know how this team works. Yoda's, constantly putting foresight up. Qui-Gon Jinn, his foresight. I mean, the team's crazy. I have this exact team. I use it. It's great. It's very competitive. And I know you're just looking at some variants. So there's a lot of variants you could do. 4 other variant teams that you could go on to would be a Rex lead, right? So you would go with a Rex lead, and you have Rex at gear 11. And then you would add Darth Nihilus into this team and General Kenobi into this team. They're both tanky and do a lot of damage, plus they both have a specialty, right? One's a cleanser and one can do an insta-kill. And then you would pair them with a Chirrut and Baze, right? Because Chirrut and Baze are just overpowered as hell. So let's see where your Chirrut and Baze are. So there's your Chirrut and Baze. They need some work. So I would throw them on the sidebar as well. Stick Chirrut and Baze into your favorites and start gearing them up. They're both atrocious to gear. You know that. But make sure that you're working on them. That double pair combo is absolutely amazing. And the team I just suggested with the Rex lead requires them. So you've got to have them if you're going to do that. Another option, of course, you could do would be a Darth Maul led team, which you have Darth Maul at gear 11. So you could definitely do Darth Maul. Sith Assassin, this is really cool. Let me go to your Sith. So you could use your Darth Maul, which you have, Sith Assassin, which you have, Savage, which you have, Darth Nihilus, which you have, and then just put General Kenobi on there. So you have them targeting General Kenobi, and he gives them retribution and cleanses, and that's the one thing they need to cleanser. So between Savage and General Kenobi, you've got 2 cleansers. And the secret with that is to make Savage really durable and tanky. You want him all health mods if possible, as many health mods as humanly possible, because he gets his own health over time, and so you want to get the most bang for your buck on those. And then for Sith Assassin, you actually want to make Sith Assassin go as fast as possible, with General Kenobi being the second fastest. If you could get General Kenobi between 200 and 220, that's really good. And then Sith Assassin between 220 and 240, hopefully. Another team that comes out of here that you could do in Sith is a Darth Nihilus-led team. And I know a lot of people mock a Darth Nihilus-led team, but built right, with the right mods and with the right characters underneath, it is very viable and can do very, very well. The only, real Achilles heel is the health immunity that some teams can apply. So you got to be kind of wary of that. But if you have a cleanser, you're gonna be okay. And so Darth Nihilus, you're going to put him with Dooku. You're going to put him with Sith Trooper, Sith Assassin, and Savage. Savage for the cleansing. He's your cleanser. Sith Assassin to speed the team up. Sith Trooper and Dooku, because those two are the best 2 Sith under a Darth Nihilus-led team. because Dooku, he has all the retaliation, and so does Sith Trooper. He has the retaliation, and they can gain life every single time that they attack. And so if you did that, you definitely want Darth Nihilus' leadership ability Zetaed, where you already have Darth Maul done. So this is just another alternate team possibility. Of course, you have your Jedi, and then the last team I'm going to suggest to you actually comes out of your Rebels. And your Rebels have a lot of work to work on for sure, but you would actually have a Wedge lead, so you'd want to get him to gear 11. You need every piece of gear you can get for Wedge if you're going to use him in Arena. He's going to make your entire team hit ridiculously hard, right? Then you can also use R2-D2, which you have pretty maxed out. That's awesome. And then you can put in Darth Nihilus or General Kenobi as your number 2 damage dealer, and then you use your turret and bays in the background. With that, you'd want your bays to have health mods to get as much ability over the health over time aspects that you can. And then turret, Imwe, and Wedge, you're going to want critical chance and critical damage with a critical damage triangle. And so that way your 2 damage dealers are doing a ton of damage. But this Wedge lead by himself with R2-D2, General Kenobi, turret, and bays is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Offensively, it'll chew through anything in 1 minute, easily. Now, defensively, it's like every other team, just like Jedi or anyone else, it will fall. It won't fall as hard and fast as some teams, but it is definitely one that, you know, you could wake up in the morning and be out of the top 10 again. That's just how some competitive shards are. But offensively, sometimes the best defense is a better offense. And what I mean by that is if you have an amazing offensive team that can kill a team in less than 60 seconds and it's really, really fast, a lot of times the opponents will try to fight you, and before they can even get anything off, they've already lost 1 or 2 characters, and it really cripples them and makes it nearly impossible or hard to beat. And so they really have to strategize and learn who to kill and how to kill them, and they have to really learn about game plan and order. And so for anybody who doesn't play the game as well as they should, they're definitely going to lose. Plus, sometimes just taking out their characters cripples their team enough, they just can't beat you. I know with this exact team, with the Wedge lead, I have a number of people on my leaderboard that have complained that they are going 0-5, 0-3, 0-6 because they just can't beat it fast enough. And so that's where it comes into needing really fast characters, but to strategically pick certain characters to make fast. On your Jedi team, of course, it's your Yoda. On your Sith teams, it's going to be your Sith Assassin, right? On a Darth Nihilus-led team, it's still Sith Assassin. For a Rex-led team, you're going to want it to be General Kenobi, actually, who's really fast, and Chirrut. You're going to want him to be really, really fast. On this Wedge-led team, you actually want R2-D2 to be the fastest, and then General Kenobi to be the next fastest. So those are some suggestions for your arena. You have some side ideas as far as B2, Death Trooper, and then a couple of the characters. Let's go ahead and go into the heroic AAT raid. That was the next thing you wanted to talk about. Just like I always do, I'm going to recommend Jedi. The Jedi, you have, the top 6 are what I would select from. You can try General Kenobi lead once you get him to 7 stars, but currently he's not at 7 stars, so you're going to have to bypass him and use the top 5 to the right. But when you can bring him in, for now, do Ayla lead, Barriss, Jedi Knight Anakin, Qui-Gon, and Grandmaster Yoda. You could, if you feel like Barriss isn't doing enough because you're able to make it through all 15 rounds of the timer, you could bring in Ahsoka Tano to do more damage over Barriss. You could also focus on gearing up Imagundai as a leader because you already have a 7-star. Get him up, he's gear 9, get him to gear 10, gear 11. With all that retaliation that they do, you can get a lot more attack out of it. I've gone from 400,000 to 600,000 by having my Imagundai as the lead. So you'll want to play around with your leaders, but definitely use your Jedi. Now, the good news for Phase 2/Phase 4 is, and you don't really have your Leia up very high, so you're going to focus more just on clones for now, but you have your clones, halfway done. They're all 7-star. They're all, almost level 85, and they're all at like gear 6 and above, with a couple of them being, gear 10, 11. So you're about halfway with the total project. Clone troopers definitely are going to be where you're going to do the majority of the damage that you do. If you do 8 million damage in an AAT tank raid, 5 of those 8 million or 6 of the 8 million is coming from this team. So you definitely want to hyper focus on this team, and they can be plugged in to the 4th phase if you want, but I would put Rebels on the 4th phase and these guys in the 2nd phase, or vice versa. It depends on which you'd like to do. Depends on which one's more durable and strategy on how you're going to take out what you're going to take out. But clones work great in P2 or P4, and you're about halfway there. So keep focusing on clones. Oh, and one last thing, make sure that your Cody gets his Zeta, and make sure you make him the fastest on this team to make him the most viable. And obviously, since I just mentioned that phase 2 or phase 4 could be clones or Rebels, and you can use them interchangeably, I would recommend Rebels obviously for 2 or 4, probably 4. You're going to have to get your bays and your troop up. They're only at 4 and 5 stars respectively, and so you're not going to be able to use them for now, but I would definitely work on them, focus them, and gear them. In the meantime, I would recommend using your top row, and I would recommend a wedge lead, Biggs, Princess Leia, Lando, and R2-D2 because of the stealth mechanism, and I just think that he's going to bring another level for you. And the last heroic AAT team comes from by way of phase 3 is going to be an Empire team. You're going to use Emperor Palpatine leader, TIE fighter pilot. You'll stick in Darth Sidious or Darth Nihilus, whichever you prefer, whichever you feel like you can get more traction with. Now, you don't have Darth Nihilus to 7 stars, and so because of that, Darth Sidious would easily work in well. He's going to have an AoE for the damaging everybody and the exposed, and you can also use Shore Trooper because you happen to have Shore Trooper 7 stars, and you could even use Darth Vader. So you could use an Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious, TIE fighter pilot, Darth Vader, and Shore, and eventually you could move out Darth Sidious for Darth Nihilus to get the extra damage. Although Darth Nihilus and Darth Sidious probably will do about the same amount of damage, to be honest, in phase 3. So there you have it. There's the 4 phases of the AAT tank raid. I hope this is going to help you focus. I love your arena team you have now, but if you're going to change it up, you've got the Rex lead capability, Darth Maul, Darth Nihilus, or that wedge hybrid team that has Rebels in it for sure. All of those are going to be fun. Make sure you get your B2 and your Death Trooper geared up and leveled up, and anybody you need for those phases of the heroic AAT. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.